Hi there guys, so my name is Brandon. I'm the tasting room floor manager here at Waterford Estate. And then today we're going to be talking about what temperature you ideally want to serve your wine at and what's the best temp to actually drink the wines at. What a lot of people don't know is that white wine and red wine, the temperature that you should be serving them is actually very close to each other. But we tend to overshoot it a lot of the times because most white wines get served out of the fridge. But the thing is, fridges are too cold. And also when it comes to red wine, you never want to serve red wine too warm, because as soon as a red wine is too warm, you start tasting a lot more of the alcohol, because that is what's always going to be overshown as soon as the temperature of basically any wine is too warm. Whether it's white or red, the alcohol is always going to come through a lot stronger, and the wines very often taste a lot sweeter when you serve it too warm. When it comes to with white wines, like I said, a lot of the times it's served out of the fridge, and fridges very, very often are too cold. Most of the time we tend to just grab it out the fridge and then basically open it up, serve it straight out that bottle. But a lot of the times when wine is served too cold, you don't really taste any of the flavor. A lot of the actual flavor of the wine gets masked. In the wine industry, it's known as the beer effect. When you are in college or when you just started out university, a lot of us tend to start drinking beers at that point in time, but you're not really used to the flavor of drinking beer, and you're not really used to the taste of it. So we tend to stick it into ice, make it super, super cold, because at that point in time, you don't really like the taste of the beer, but all your friends are drinking it, so you just basically want to drink it down. But then you're not really tasting any of the beer because it is served so cold. So I just want to show you guys something, a very, very good indication of when a wine is too cold. A lot of the times when you grab it out the ice machine or when you grab it out the fridge, you'll notice that the bottle's a little bit foggy. So that's a good indication that the temp on that wine might not be exactly where you want it to be. And the real way to really test that theory is obviously to stick a thermometer on it. That's the only way to really get the temperature up on the wine. Another thing you can also use as an indication is if you're pouring the glass of wine. A lot of the times the glass will start to fog up. So when you see that starting to happen, especially if a glass is chilling on the table, and then you notice that the glass is starting to fog up, that's also a very, very good indication that the wine might be a little bit too cold. I'll just tilt the glass like that so you guys can see a little bit of that glass, like it's starting to fog up there. Okay, so when that does tend to happen, a very good thing is just to warm the wine up a little bit. You can literally just use your hands to warm it up, and immediately you can taste it while it's cold. And then once you warm it up afterwards, give it a minute or so, then taste the wine after that, and you'll immediately see a big difference in the two different flavors in it. What is the perfect temperature you want to be serving your wines at? For white wine, ideally you want to, like I said, most of the time it comes out of the fridge, but the perfect temperature to actually serve white wines is between 10 degrees Celsius up until, I would say, 12, 13. That's going to be the best, especially if you're in South Africa, that's going to be the best temperature to serve it at. In South Africa, our temperature is obviously a lot warmer, and a lot of the times when you pour the wine into the glass, the wine warms up quite a bit. So ideally you want to be serving it in between, like I said, 10 to 12 degrees, maybe 13 degrees Celsius, because then when it does warm up, it'll get you to that perfect 14, 15 degrees Celsius that you should be drinking it at. For red wines can also, like I said, the temperature you want to be serving red wine and white wine are very, very close to each other. So for red wine, you should be looking at serving it between 13 to 17 degrees Celsius. Again, the wine will warm up, so that's going to be the best way, temperature to serve it at. So at that point, the wine won't be too jammy. You'll get all of the characteristics that you should be looking out for in the wine. Another thing to look out for is when a wine is too warm. To get it up to a good temperature very quickly is the ice bucket. Most of us should have the ice bucket in our houses. So you basically just want to put a little bit of salt in there and then fill it up with ice, and then ideally stick the bottle in. Don't do that. stick the bottle in, leave it in there for like a minute, maybe like half a minute. After that, turn the bottle around, just stick the neck in there as well, so that you can properly chill the wine. That will just mean that the whole glass will cool down, and will obviously cool the wine down in the glass at the same time. And then ideally you do want to spin the bottle so that it gets, like I said, quicker temperature. Quicker, the more the wine moves around, the quicker they get to that to the glass, and then obviously cool it down, the wines that's on the inside there. That's why you want to spin it. That's why you want to move the bottle around as well, or turn it upside down, so that every bit of the wine cools down a lot quicker. That is the easiest way to get your wine to the perfect temp. So for storing wines, you always need to consider on when you're going to be serving the wine as well. But if you're just looking to cellar your wines and put it away, your red wines and your white wine, you can cellar sort of at the same temperature. Ideally, you want your cellar's temperature to be consistent. You don't want the temperature to fluctuate too much, because when the temperature fluctuates too much, that's the easiest way the wine is going to go off, or that's the easiest way you're going to lose flavor in the wine again. So try to keep your cellar in between about 15 degrees Celsius up to, like, I would say 18. You don't want it to fluctuate too much in between that range, but that's going to be your best temperature to store your wines at. If you are going to be serving it, try to take your wines, especially white wines, out like an hour or so beforehand. Put it into the fridge and cool it down to about, I would say 10, 12 degrees Celsius. Because when you are going to be pouring the wine and serving it, as soon as the wine sits on the table, the temperature tends to shoot up quite a bit, and then it should get you to that 14, 15 degrees Celsius that you ideally want to be serving the white wines. And then obviously for reds, they will be at the right temperature, and then you can take it out of your cellar straight away, open it up, and then just serve it as is.